I'm Chad, and welcome to another Motovlog. So being that we just enjoyed round 2 of the MotoGP World Championship, and being that we had so much fun talking about MotoGP a couple weeks ago following the season opener, I thought it would only be appropriate to discuss the second round of MotoGP in Indonesia in this Motovlog. So spoilers ahead if you haven't seen the race yet. Pause the video, go watch it, come back, let's talk about it. So now that you've watched the race, you'll know that Miguel Oliveira took first place aboard the factory KTM. Fabio Quartararo took second on his factory Yamaha. And Johan Zarco took third on his Pramac Ducati. But outside of the top few places, there was a lot of great racing that went on. While Miguel Oliveira was quick to build a strong gap after he took the lead from Jack Miller a few laps into the race, there was quite a bit of switching up going on for the rest of the podium. Jack was running in second, but ultimately finished fourth, which was still pretty awesome considering his result in the last race. And Fabio Quartararo made great progress, eventually fighting it out with Jack, Johan Zarco, and coming out on top between the three of them. Zarco ultimately had better pace than Jack. Not really sure what happened with Jack later on in the race, or perhaps he was just the most comfortable at leading the race from the get-go. And as everybody else got a little bit more comfortable in the conditions, they were able to pick up pace, whereas Jack was about at his threshold from the get-go. Also, being that you have watched this race by now, you'll know that it was a wet race, a very wet race, that was delayed for over an hour because of heavy rain and thunderstorms. A lot of bikes out today, and some cool Harley dudes that won't wave at me. Oh man. Further back down the field, we also had an awesome battle between a lot of different riders for positions. I believe it was 12 through 8. Really, it might have been like 13 or 14 through 8. A lot of bikes, a lot of changing of positions. Aleix Espargaro making some good moves, clean passes, fighting up there with the likes of Darren Binder, Brad Binder, who ultimately came out on top in that battle in 8th place. But it was a very exciting race, and it's always exciting to see, and I personally really enjoy wet races because it's always really interesting to see how that levels the playing field between riders. Now, I've never raced or even ridden on track in the rain before, but my understanding is that it's not so physically demanding and just outright speed, of course, but it's being smart, thinking very critically all the time, and really being careful not to exceed the limit of grip in those conditions. One of the things that really surprised me most about that was Fabio Quartararo, because as I recall, he has not had a lot of great results in the rain. He is blisteringly fast in the dry, carries insane corner speed, and he very much was able to do that in this race. The entirety of this vlog is being recorded in virtual reality, of course, which is a highly accurate computer simulation of the world which we know, but without the rules. But yeah, Fabio's performance really surprised me, and good on him for rocking that race. Really impressed. And one of the other things too that I want to talk about for a second is Marc Marquez, because I was very disappointed that he did not get a chance to compete in the race. Obviously, it was for the best. He had what was probably the biggest high side in documented MotoGP history in practice that morning, which also circles back to another topic that just kind of covers the weekend, but grip at that track. The new Mandalika circuit in Indonesia was built last year. World Superbike raced on it towards the end of last year and seemed to get on very well with it, but it just seemed like the MotoGP guys had no grip at all anywhere, especially in the dry. The rain actually seemed to help things a little bit, which was good, But I just wonder if maybe it was the surface getting a little greasy because of the humidity and temperature. It was a bit warm there, 87 degrees Fahrenheit for those of us stateside. I believe that's pretty close to, if not about 30 degrees Celsius. So it's possible that that heat and humidity might have had something to do with the surface and making it a bit greasy. Guy wants me to do a wheelie. Oh, I'm a clown. So it would have been really cool to see what Marc could have done there, especially being that the wet conditions probably would have helped with the amount of pain that he's in, but he had a really rough weekend and I felt really bad for him because he was giving it his all and just was not able to get traction anywhere. I think that was at least his third crash of the weekend that I saw. He had 2 crashes in Q1 and that big old high side. Honestly, it's a miracle that he wasn't more injured. That was gut-wrenching to see. Hopefully he'll be in good shape to race again at Argentina in 2 weeks' time. Definitely wishing him a speedy recovery. But huge congrats to Miguel, to Fabio, to Zarco, to Jack, and to really everybody for braving that storm. Also hope that Jorge Martin's alright. That was a bummer of a crash and I was hoping he'd be able to do some magic over the weekend, but he did, just until it started raining. Nevertheless, I'm sure he'll be back stronger than ever. So with that, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you gave me a gentle little click of the like button and considered subscribing for future motorcycling content and discussion. Drop a comment below. Who's your rider this season? Do you even watch MotoGP? What did you think about the race? I'm a Jack Miller fan personally. Really hoping to see him turn things around and start putting that Ducati GP22 up on the top step of the box going forward. Time will tell if he can. But again, let's talk MotoGP. Comments below. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will hope to catch you in the next one. Until then, later.